That looks a little better. All right. Yeah, that looks better. What's going on, everybody? My you now was acting a little, what's up, Sanji? Sorry for the delay. I'm going to emphasize, thank you for bringing your fans over. Courtney, what's going on? Thank you for bringing your fans over. Sanji, sorry about the delay. You know, I was getting a little funk, like not like Bay Area funk, like the kind you want, but like a little bit like what? Beaming in from Melbourne, Australia, bro. There
yes,
he is.
It works. Sweet. I just wanted to make sure it works.
It never wears off. It never wears off. It's like, oh shit, it worked. Oh my god, what do we do?
For real, man.
So I don't know. What are we going to talk about, dude? What do you want to talk about?
Anything really. I'm not too fast, man. I'm really
Sanji's
going with
like,
the flow.
dude, you were supposed to ask questions or some shit. I don't know what this is about. Fuck, man. I'm just clowning on you, bro. How's life?
No, we're doing good. We're in like stage 4 lockdown here still, so we can't really like get out and about and do what we want to do, but we're surviving.
So translate stage 4. Is that like you're not even supposed to go out? You're supposed to wear masks if you're outside, that kind of shit?
Yeah. So we're not allowed out unless it's for groceries, but even if you're going for like shopping and stuff, you can't leave. I think it's like 10 kilometers from your area or something like that.
Oh, wow. I haven't heard that before.
Yeah, and then when you're outside, you have to wear a mask. Curfew's at 8 o'clock, so if they catch you out after 8, you get fined. Standard.
Is that recent? Like, was it down a little bit and then they pushed it back up recently?
Yeah, so they pushed it up. I think it was the end of last month, like 27th of July, something like that.
Wow.
Yeah, July. Yeah, July.
So like your immediate circle, thank you guys for popping in. Oh, Courtney, awesome. You're totally welcome to reach out on our Discord. I didn't realize you were a musician. Is everyone in your immediate circle more or less healthy and okay and doing
yes.
Okay? Cool.
Yeah. Despite being like probably really vulnerable to it, I think we're doing really good. So
good.
I mean, we're taking precautions.
Care of yourselves.
Yeah.
Hey T.
Definitely.
Do you know? I have a feeling you probably have connected with T Fresh. Know
yes.
about her or?
Yes,
cool.
I know about her. I've seen her around in streams and stuff.
She's super awesome. She's been a friend of ours. We've been around 5 months, so we're little babies. But
oh hell yeah! I'm still fresh too.
Yeah, we're definitely infants. Yay, babies! Thank you for those likes. Long number name that I can't pronounce. It's like 1, 2, 1, 4, 4, 5.
I've actually I've rapped once and I put entire
1,
number
4,
names
4, 5,
inside
7, that. Yeah, like you're the only person in the universe that could make that into a song.
That shit is funny.
Like he made this 16-digit number into a hook. It was crazy.
Yeah. Something like that. Wait, so
thank you for inviting your fans over.
What motivated you to start streaming and
these kinds of conversations? So basically, I've worked in the music industry for years, and I play music. I've worn a lot of hats in the sort of music industry, and I happen to be a journalist, and I write about the music industry now quite a bit. So 5 months ago, when shit hit the fan, and we were like, okay, this is what the hell's going on?
Yeah.
I decided to sort of lean into it in a way. And Tori is someone who works very closely with me on this and is sort of a coordinator for the stream, and a friend that I've known for a number of years. We just sort of decided let's start figuring out what's going on in live streaming that would be useful for musicians, for artists, for management, for studios, for people in the industry to know what's going on. So I write something that comes out once a month that's basically kind of like a more industry sort of nerdier version of this, and then I just try and just hang with people. So all of August has been talking to artists on You Now, the entire month of August, and it's been fucking really cool because you guys just have such great energy, and there's so much community here, and we love learning from you guys. So basically, we wanted to be able to talk to people that are doing cool shit and just kind of let them talk about what they're doing, what's working for them, what they're trying to do. Thank you, Prawn. Good to see you again. Prawn's coming in from Tom's interview about an hour ago. So, thank you. Thanks very much for the likes. It's Asha, if I'm not mistaken. I don't know. It could be mistaken. Dun dun dun. So look, dude. I mean, you're a super talented artist. You know. So I don't want to spend a whole lot of time, blah blah blah. I would love to, if you want to kick things off with something. It could be a song. It could be a freestyle.
Yeah,
You're
sure.
welcome to, dude. Love to do that, just to give people a taste if they haven't before.
Something to set in the mood, right?
A little hors d'oeuvres.
Yeah, I got you.
A little sprinkle.
I got you.
By the way, Tom's interview started weird. Like it was a little bit like, what?
Yeah.
So there might be a little bit of residual, like, what is he doing right now with the hors d'oeuvres and the sprinkle thing? Like, what is that?
Oh no, don't stress, man. Don't stress.
Yeah.
I have I'm actually in this fraternity, and the person who is kind of like mentoring me within that frat.
Yeah.
He's really
What's up, T?
eccentric. I would say.
Eccentric. Yeah.
And he's got a very like a uniqueness to his personality, and he likes like expressing in like different kind of vocabulary and all that stuff. So
yeah, so he's weird too.
Yeah, no, that's fine.
So
all the people I know are weird.
We're totally pro weird. Tori's like, oh, Sanji doesn't know Pete's fucking weird. Oh, this is gonna be hilarious. Cool. So you've been trained in the art of weird already. You have a mentor. You have a weird mentor.
Yes.
So you should be totally ready for this. So, dude, what you want to do right now? You want to take the mic and do some shit.
Yeah, sure. I'll pick something up. I'm just gonna pick a random beat. I'm just scrolling through stuffs.
Are these all YouTube beats, by the way? Is that what you guys pull from mostly? Like just some
I just pull off random like YouTube beats that sound nice, so kind of go with the nice flow, you know. If you guys got words or anything, feel free to drop it in the chat. Actually, let's go with
some words. Thanks for bringing your fans over, T.
Yo, thank you.
Screenshots, yo, get ready for those screenshots. Sorry.
Oh no, you're good. Don't even stress, man. Yo, so we just said it, I'm about to go float. I'm thinking about a way it's coming straight up top of that dome. Because we just sitting here with Pete. We thinking about a way that we're doing. Ain't no need to compete. Because we sitting trying to figure out a way that we can link all the people together. Because we started connect, kind of like Wi-Fi. Just going across my eyes and going across the seas. Because you know we dropped across the skies. Figuring out ways that we can just figure out how we can build a little community. Do you really feel? I'm thinking about how we can move it. Maybe we can keep it real, cause this is just how we feel. Bringing it great. We're thinking about a way that we do it while we just sit and conversate. Get to know each other, just like we kind of brothers. Now I'm sitting over here, and now we love another. And now you know that we just sharing that peace. We're figuring out a way that we do it. I'm chilling with Pete, yeah. Cause we ain't looking for no blue and red. Ain't no popo here, we going out there. We're figuring out ways that we can just keep it just in our head while we're trying to make some music, keep it clear, yo. Playing the tunes, I'm letting it loose. I'm figuring out ways that I could just bring it to you. Cause I ain't chilling in the streets, nah. I'm chilling in my home. Because the COVID outside, I'm trying to just stay safe. So I just gotta wear my mask. I'm trying to let myself up in a box and dance. Because I'm leaning into the struggles. Maybe I could find a way to make it an advantage. Maybe I could figure out a way to understand it and comprehend it in a way and move it in different dimensions. Cause you know I like to comprehend it in a different step, and I could try to figure out a way to get a like, yeah. My name is Sanji, and I hope you like the freestyle. Something like that. And then
love it, dude.
Something to start it up. Sorry,
Yeah, man.
I'm gonna. Is it cool if I smack real quick?
You did. Yeah, you asked last night. You're like, yo, bro, is it cool if I sort of like, gonna fuck
Sometimes
about a
it's just
little bit? What am I gonna do? No, man, that's not cool.
if
It's
it's
like,
not cool, I'll put it
it's
down.
like going to a party and it's like, nah, man, don't do that here. Like, what? Bro, chill out.
Literally.
out.
Yo, what's up, Richard?
Yeah, we're gonna here's us. We're gonna have a music stream and there's gonna be no marijuana. There's gonna be no pot. There's gonna be no ganja. There's gonna be no sensimilla. Like, well, I thought you said it was a music stream.
That's true.
Blink,
That's
blink,
true, man.
Blink, blink. Right? Do your
Straight
shit,
back.
man.
Straight back.
What's up, Richard? Richard's like, dude, this is crazy, dude. I like this shit. I like how he's kind of off cam a little bit. Like, oh, what the fuck's he doing, man?
No, that's the.
No, but respect. Yeah. That might be like a thing. That might be like is that a you now thing? Is that like a...
Nah, that's an Australia thing.
Okay, all right.
Yeah. Yeah.
You like how I did the when you're like, popo around here, and I'm like, yeah, man. Man, I should have done it like this, like unwind the popo.
Oh.
That's the unwind the popo. Fucking, that's the...
Nah, but then it's going out, right?
Yeah, but that's what it is normally. But if you're undoing it, like,
true.
there's no popo. No, man, we'll roll it back, erase that shit from the tape.
I fuck with it.
Oh man, you seem like one of those cats. Like some people when they get, I don't know how high you're gonna get while we're on this combo, but like some people when they get high, they get really fucking annoying, man. They start talking too much. They start thinking too much. But you seem like super legit, fucking super cool, like either way. So I think this is gonna be fun. What's up, Donnie? Donnie's like, yo, I'm bringing my fans in. This is hilarious.
Yo, hell yeah. It's I don't know. It kind of became like a standard for me after a while. I feel like I've been smoking for a little too long, but yeah, we're still working through it. So
I know, man. You got to do your thing.
Hell yeah.
So, like, let's talk streaming a little bit. How long have you been? Were you streaming before you got started on YouNow? Were you streaming anywhere else and then slid into YouNow?
Honestly, I've actually been here for
Vicky.
a lot longer than anyone knows.
Oh shit!
Yo,
he's like, I'm kind of an OG, but I try to keep it low key. That's
like,
the best rap I'll ever have in my life, by the way.
Yo,
That's
I'll use that line.
I accidentally rhymed, and I'm like, that was fucking crazy. Thank you, Icy Nerd. Icy Nerd's like, damn, he actually almost rhymed.
Yo, for
Good
real.
job, dude.
Jamming to that, man. Have you seen Icy Bands? Bro.
No.
He's got moves, man. Facts.
Let's hit that shit, man. Let's bring it up. Icy's like, no. All 5 of those words rhyme, and it means no.
Legit.
So you've been on for a minute, but like nobody knows that. What the fuck?
So I've actually been on here for about 7 to 8 years.
No, you lie. Don't lie on the fucking stream, dude.
No.
We have this on YouTube. I'll send it to Australia. I'll send it to Melbourne.
Legit.
I'll be like,
100%.
Really?
Legit, yeah. So I was here since Blog TV, and then
I don't even know what you just said.
I think you now bought out Blog TV. They bought out the domain, the internet domain.
Gotcha.
So
this sounds like you know some shit.
Well, I was on and off, and like I was really young when I first started. I was like 13, 14 years old playing like the guitar and stuff. Yeah.
Richard's been on 8 years, dude.
Yeah.
Nah, man. No
I didn't do it every day, so I was like,
you now Flintstones. You guys were like you now Flintstones, dude. That shit was like you guys were living in caves and fucking the Wi-Fi was like some antenna.
Maybe, man. Maybe.
I'm a part of this site. What's up, Emily?
But
thank you for bringing your fans over.
Yes, so I was on and off with that, and then I decided to get like actual serious with it probably about 1.5 years ago.
Now, pause. Why did you wait so long to get actual serious? Thanks, Emily.
Music has never been like a main focus for me. It's always been like
science.
Yeah, the science is has always been my main thing, and with music, it's always been a hobby, and it wasn't until like roughly about that time, a year and a half ago, I found it. I needed to develop social skills again because I wasn't good at articulating what I need to say, and I guess like representing my emotions and all the inside stuff, you know.
Yep. Cool.
So
So maybe part of that is just thank you, Vicky, for bringing some folks over. Um, I wonder if what you just said, what I hear is, okay, you now is kind of useful for that, but also music is kind of useful for that. So you're like, fuck it, I'm gonna do both.
yeah,
Yeah,
definitely.
yeah.
Especially since music has been just like something I've done on the side. Like I
Yeah.
never really learned music except in high school, and like that made me really hate it. So every time I've
Explain
learned
that. Why would you hate it? Because you're like frustrated?
the theory, I couldn't
Yeah,
connect
okay.
theory with the feeling of just playing it. Because my teacher used to say like, for sight reading, the easiest way with guitar is you learn all the notes yourself, and then you look at the sight reading and you just play. You just let it
Sure.
come out.
Right.
And most of the time it worked, but it's really hard to kind of connect the two for me. So yeah, it just frustrated me a lot.
What instrument are we talking? Piano or I know you
Guitar.
play uke? Guitar. Okay, that
Yeah.
makes sense. So you were studying guitar a little bit, but you didn't necessarily have the scales and chords and blah blah blah. So you couldn't
Mhm.
improvise. Is that what you're saying? You couldn't sit
Yeah.
down and do something and be like G chord and like, what do you want me to play? Tell me what you want me to play.
Yeah. So I
Gotcha.
couldn't like do any of the finger style stuff. If
Yep.
someone told me to play a C note in whatever octave, I couldn't do that either. Yeah, pretty much.
So is that part of what you want to do now? Because I know you do a lot of freestyling, and I've seen you play some uke, but I haven't heard you or seen you play guitar.
Um, I do guitaring now. Like it's more
Yeah.
just chords to accompany my voice.
Do you want
But
to write your own music? Is that why you want to learn more theory?
I'm not particularly interested in theory.
Okay.
It's more I do the freestyling because it helps me talk easier. Because
Okay.
it's hard for me to connect words together. I stutter a lot and like I stop in my sentences or talk too fast and stuff. I just get really anxious. But yeah,
Wow, it's super fascinating, and I think probably Tori's having the same reaction right now. Some people that are your crew may know this about you. I don't know, but like, what's fascinating to me, and this came up in the interview, or not the interview, but the hang that I was watching yesterday that you were on. It's like sometimes when people see something and they're like, "Wow, that dude's talented," and he can come up with shit on the fly, and that guy's fucking really good. He must just be like pure. It must be life must just be easy for that kid, you know. And
uh,
then you hear like the other flip where you're like, no,
yeah,
like I came in, I had to break through the door. I had to like, there was this and this and this, and I was not comfortable. And then I like, so it's just fascinating that something that you seem so intrinsically talented at is something that you also point to and go, no, like actually, like I kind of stammer or sometimes I blah 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 blah. It's like fuck, it hurts the brain. It's very interesting though. Thank you,
that's,
Icy.
I appreciate that. Thank you, Icy, as well. Nah, yeah, like it's definitely a struggle. Like even to this day, I don't see myself as good as other people see me, and it's really hard to build that confidence. Like I do enjoy the rush I get when like words seem to just fit together and everything
Right.
just seems to align up.
Yeah.
But at the end
Let's
of the day, like yeah,
let's talk about something that makes me where my mind goes with that. So there's this book. It probably came out maybe 30 years ago. It's called Flow,
Mhm.
and it's about the flow state in the human brain where you're not thinking about any of that bullshit. It's like probably what you just described when you
Yeah.
get the perfect fucking thing right
Hmm.
in your dome, and then you spit it, and people are like, "What the? No fucking way!" And you're like, "Yeah, that was actually good." That
Yeah.
flow state is when none of the other noise is in there. So
Hmm.
like usually it's just something that sort of it's a grace. It just happens, right? Like, wow, I just slipped in, but then sometimes you slip out again. What puts you into flow state? Is it knowing that there's people listening that are going to understand your words? Is it just like maybe just some inspiration that you can't put your finger on? Like, what do you think is different about that flow state where you're able
Uh,
to pull things?
For me, definitely when I realize I'm not repeating myself, when I get out of my comfort zone.
Hmm.
So when I freestyle, if you pay attention really closely, like I actually repeat a couple like starters, I guess that's what you'd
Yep.
call them, the start
Yep.
of a sentence. And then that way it helps me build into different things. But when I stop repeating that and I actually like start building a story with it, then I know instantly I just gotta keep going with this or trust it. And then
Yeah.
it just kind of like settles in perfectly. Yeah.
Thanks for becoming a fan, Emily. You said something. Hey, Chris, what's going on, man? Thanks for bringing your people in. You said something interesting yesterday, which was, and forgive me if I'm misquoting you, but paraphrasing, it was sort of like, I used to think in sentences, and now I just think in like words and little bits of
Yeah.
ideas.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Right. So is that something that happened super recently or something that you've been doing for a minute?
Very recently.
Huh.
Very recently. When I first started doing freestyles, it was all about my sentences. That's why you were if you were I think you were there, yeah, for the first video I showed when I first started
Yeah, the super old one. You're like, oh, I sucked. You were still fucking good. You were still good. You were just not. It wasn't quite as strong, but like you were still good. But yeah, there were more sentences for sure.
So I realized with that kind of thinking, you have to learn to cut down your sentences. So that way you can fit into different kind of beats and flows.
Right.
Whereas when you come up with the words first and then you try to curve the content or curve the sentence to fit within the context,
yep.
It starts to be a lot easier to build whatever, like however big of a sentence you need. And you can fit in more words that can rhyme into that as well.
You were doing something also interesting yesterday, which was like you were basically rapping to a recording. It was really fast.
Oh yeah,
right?
yeah.
And so do you like? It's almost like an athlete. Like, do you like regularly either just try and rap to something, or like rap along to people that you admire, just to get the feel of like the fluidity
Definitely.
of it?
Whenever someone asks me how to start freestyling, that is the first thing I tell them to do. So find your favorite rap songs ever, learn them off by heart, and then see how fast you can get with them.
So what are your favorite rap songs ever? Or some of them, like just what are some either songs or artists that you super admire as a
definitely top 3, probably Eminem, Logic, and Khan. Khan is K-A-A-N. He was the one I was doing really fast with. The only reason why I really do admire like Khan though is because the way he builds his verses is built with, he tries to do everything in one breath. So he'll fit as many big sentences, as many different kind of words to articulate like some specific meaning or idea he has, and he'll fit it all into one verse. But he'll how can I explain it this way? Imagine you have an artist that tells a story within 2 verses, right? And a hook in the middle. He will be able to compact that down into one verse for his song.
Yeah. Meaning he puts that many words into the verse just because of pure speed and just density. Got it.
And articulation. Yeah. The way he can like
it sounded exhausting just listening to you try and keep up with his flow yesterday. I'm like, even though the words have already been created by somebody else and you theoretically know what they are, it's still like keeping up with the dude was just crazy.
Definitely. And especially in the way they choose the words, the way they choose the words and how they accent the words makes it really difficult as well. Because you can highlight the first half of the word or the second half of the word as well.
Right.
Yeah.
Crazy. Honest Witness, thank you for bringing some people over. So Eminem, and you said Logic.
Logic as well, yeah. Definitely.
What do you admire about the two of them?
Eminem, because of his flow, definitely. Just how he can articulate his flows. His vocab is definitely off chains as well, but the way he can just change a flow or fit his raps into almost any beat That just blows
Right.
my mind. With Logic, same thing, but it's because I have a little bit of a bias to boom bap sort of beats.
Gotcha.
Definitely like his vibe and his message. And since I grew up listening to him, it kind of just grew on me too. Yeah.
Are there any, and this is not like begging an answer in any way. It's just where my mind goes next. Like, are there any streamers that you admire? They could be hip hop streamers, they could be on
Oh,
You
hell
Now, they could be, okay, so what are some streamers that you're like, wow, as a streamer, that person's like crazy?
yeah. So actually, Tom Psycho.
Dope. Amazing.
Me and him actually like, yeah, he's a huge inspiration for me on my freestyle
Amazing.
as well.
Cool.
Someone who actually used to freestyle on this platform, but they moved to Twitch. His name is Dapper Rapper.
He's off the chains.
Off the
That's
chain.
great.
Yeah. In
He's
terms
just-
of freestyle, he's just amazing, like insane. Another streamer on here, he actually, if it wasn't for him and maybe a handful of other people, like I probably wouldn't be here to this day.
Who's him?
Uka Luka.
Oh, sure, yeah. You
Yeah.
guys did a thing on SoundCloud.
Yes.
How long ago was that?
Honestly, I don't even remember.
I couldn't. So sometimes on SoundCloud you can't really tell, right? You're just like, oh, this thing happened, but you're like, was that last month, last year, 10 years ago?
Honestly,
Like roughly, just give me like some idea. It's the first thing on your SoundCloud, I think.
first thing I remember probably about 8 months, like maybe longer.
Okay,
6 to 8 months, I think,
nice.
at least. Something like that. But yeah, there have been a lot of other musicians that I do like want to work with and stuff in here, but I think it's just my mentality to be really lethargic in writing. So
What do you mean? What do you mean by what you just said? I don't understand.
I want to work and collaborate with a lot more musicians. It's just the fact that I'm really lazy with my writing.
Okay, that's cool.
Yeah, that's literally why I started freestyling.
Oh yeah, that makes a lot of sense actually. And honestly, like it's funny that you mentioned Dapper Rapper because what's interesting about what he's done too is to me it leans much more into the nature of live streaming. You think about like, are you familiar with Caffeine? This other platform that's like a there's the point I want to make is that like hip hop as a live streaming phenomenon hasn't really like blown up yet per se.
Yeah.
Like there's certain things that have happened, big events, this and that, but like as a community live streaming thing, I don't feel like hip hop's like, like really where it could be. I mean, hip hop is everything right now musically, and yet on the live streaming, it's not so much. And I wonder if like freestyle is one thing, what Dapper does, what you do, what Sicko does, there's certain people who freestyle well, and I feel like that is like that works on live streaming because that's live streaming is a now thing. You know what I mean? So it's almost like, why would you feel like you have to write a song if you're a streamer? Just fucking do your thing on streaming every day like Dapper does, and you're set. Like, do you agree, or do you feel like, no, I need to have a record out, I want to be signed, I want to blah 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 blah?
I feel like it does work, but only for a particular set of people. Like this, it's gonna sound really weird, but okay. So
We like weird.
in terms of myself,
Yeah.
People might not think of this as well because like they work hard to get the gold badge and stuff. But even though I have the gold badge, I still feel like I haven't made it, or like it hasn't been like a complete success.
Right.
In terms of just because if you do, and for the sake of comparison, compare me to Dapper, right? He gets over 150 viewers base, like every time he hops up for rap.
Yeah, I mean concurrent.
Yeah, concurrent. And then when you go to say any other rapper that I've seen freestyle, I've never seen numbers really compare to that.
Totally.
And it's such a struggle because for me it's the idea that yeah, it's cool that you can sit there and we can freestyle for like 2-3 hours on end. But
Right.
at the same time, like we also have to take in consideration of what our viewers want as well.
Mm.
Like, will someone actually sit there and listen to someone freestyle for 2 to 3 hours on end? And like, will you have enough ideas or
Right.
context or content to be spitting about for the whole 2 to 3 hours sort of thing?
It it's a good point, and it's right in the heart of what's so cool to talk to you about it, because it's like there's so many mysteries about it right now. One thing I noticed about sometimes when you're freestyling, you'll your freestyles go for maybe 90 seconds to 2 minutes to 3 minutes,
Mhm.
and then you kind of like you're like cool. Now I'm gonna do another one. Now I'm gonna do another one. You
Yeah.
kind of do these sort of like blisteringly good 3 minute segments, and then you're like, oh, that's interesting, and then you're kind of chilling, right? So there's this kind of, whereas someone like Dapper might go for longer and he's got a different cadence to it. So I guess what you're talking about has to do also with like, do you just close your eyes and then move in and just create some shit, or do
Mm.
you like pop some stuff off, check with the chat, pull some things together, recollect your thoughts, get a drink of water, and do it again, which is kind
Mhm.
of like more your flow.
Yeah.
What I'm seeing, right?
Hmm.
So,
Definitely. Just because it feels like with the different platforms on Twitch, he's able to, because it's more of a spam chat, you're able to kind of just pick apart what
mm,
comments you want to
right,
use.
right,
Like
right.
he does go through every single comment though. Like honestly, props to that. That's so crazy.
Yeah.
But um yeah, with a whole like a big audience like that and a chat that is constantly scrolling, like it's so much easier for that. Whereas for
Mm,
on our platform, we don't really have that kind of thing unless they're like a superstar like YouTube or whatever, and they're
mm,
bringing their people here, and then the chat just flows forever, right? Um, and on top of that, because like I said, I came here to build my social skills. So
mm.
to begin with, I don't have the personality to be like, you know, um, a streamer sort of thing. I guess that's what they label it as. But yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I respectfully disagree. I think you do. I think you have a great personality for this, and I think that's part of what's probably people that right on, Tori. I mean, I think you do. In other words, you can do this however you want to do it, but I think your personality is not the same as X or Y or Z. Um, I yeah, everybody's like, yeah, dude, no, you're fucking dope. Like, in other words, yeah, I mean, I appreciate whatever you're trying to polish or whatever you're trying to work on or do differently and stuff like that. But um, let me ask you something else, just sort of about big picture stuff. Like, I know you're in school right now, right?
Yes, I'm deferred right now, but yeah, I'm returning
Oh, right.
next.
Okay. So, like, do you see music as something you want to do professionally, or is it something that you're just kind of like, I'm kind of like trying some things out on you now. We'll see where it goes. Are you like hyper ambitious? Are you kind of like maybe not music? I'll do science instead. Have you thought
Um,
about that much?
Science has always been like my end goal in
Yep.
terms of that sort of stuff, but
Yep.
I've always considered music as a means to kind of get there as well. So that way I can also I've always believed in learning your skills and then kind of teaching others at the end of it sort of thing. And
Yeah.
this is something I definitely can do, you know? And I try to. It's just my schedule's kind of whack at the moment. But yeah, I do consider music potentially to be like a serious thing. It's just due to my situation at home and personal sort of stuff. It's like I have to take as many roads as I can right now and see which one kind of leads me there quicker.
Completely. So
Yeah.
maybe streaming is also kind of a nice thing because it's flexible. In other words, you can pop in at 10 o'clock in the morning or 10 o'clock at night, or if you have a busy day, you can not go on at all. And like, how how have you been able to use it so that you can just sort of Do you have a schedule? Have you come up with like a regular time you're doing it now?
I used to have a schedule for a long time. It's only until recently that my schedule's been like really topsy
Jacked
turvy.
up. Yeah. I guess everybody's is.
Yeah, definitely. But before the whole like lockdowns and all that stuff, I was working 3 jobs, and by the end of the 3 jobs, it'd be about like 3 o'clock in the morning, 2 o'clock in the morning, and that was when I used to stream here. And then
Because of that, because that was at the tail end of 3 jobs.
It was usually the time I come home, and then I usually game. So I was just like, fuck it, like I may as well, work on some music while I'm here. So I usually did about 2 hours of music or an hour of music, and then I did gaming.
Wow, crazy.
Yeah, and then I just get ready for the next day. But then since then, I've become kind of like nocturnal anyway, and I kind of try fit my schedule in when I can.
Right. You said you were talking about teaching a little bit. I mean, do you feel like you would enjoy, or do you have people that you're sort of, I don't know if mentoring is the right word, but like, thank you, Danielle. Let me see, I need to catch up on the chat a little bit. Is that something that you see yourself doing? Are you doing that a little bit, kind of like chatting with people that are new to this, or helping people kind of figure out their thing?
So every Sunday, I do like tips and tricks sort of thing. But I do have, like, a lot of people have told me to like teach them how to spit freestyle. I don't feel like there's any kind of formal class way you can kind of teach someone. It's kind of like, I'll tell you these kind of tips, and then you guys gotta kind of try it and then work on it, or come back to me with like things that you have questions about. I don't feel like you can actually break it down and teach someone like through theory properly. Like, there probably is a way to teach it in theory, but for me personally, I don't feel like it would help.
So how did you learn it yourself? Did you just kind of just do it, or did you have any sort of pattern or ways that you got better or got more comfortable with it?
Literally, well, what I've just said. I kind of just broke it down. So we know what a rap is. You know what I mean? Like, there's a beat. You listen to the beat, find the line, and then at first I kind of so for example, I hope you don't mind, I'm just gonna play it really low.
Go for it. Yeah, no, we love it.
So for example, this beat, right? You can hear in your head that if there were to be words, it would be like
exactly. You hear it, like there's a hole there, and you're like, it's right there. Right, sure.
So all you have to do from then on is to fill in the gaps.
Right.
So with practice,
so step one hearing it?
Yeah, definitely hearing the beat. It's the first thing.
Hearing the sort of the flow, even before you start spitting it. You're like, there it is. You find it.
Literally, right. That's all you have to do. That's how I start off any new beat that I've ever heard. So like, I'll put on any random beat right now. It says I've never heard this beat. Okay. It's a triple X beat. I don't even listen to this kind of music, but okay. So da 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 dun 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 dun. Yeah, so you get what I mean, right?
Yep.
There's always a fast version, or you can cut it in half, and it can just be like half time if you even want to.
Right. Da 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 da. Right.
Exactly.
So you hear that rhythm, and then you're just like, okay, I can just kind of like stick some words in there, and then find something that. Yep.
But everyone has their own interpretation of it, and that's what I really love about freestyling. Yeah. And that's why I look up to, like, that's why Eminem is one of my favorite artists, because if you listen to his songs, most of the flows are kind of, they have characteristics that make it Eminem,
right.
But every type of beat that he's done that's different, like he just somehow fits his style in it somehow.
Yep.
And yeah, that's just crazy.
So you were saying something earlier about the chat in relation to sort of the freestyle. And if I heard you correctly, what you were basically saying was, I like having a lot of shit happening in the chat, and I like to be able to grab shit because it gives me fuel to be able to freestyle.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, definitely.
So you'd like to actually have more people saying shit that you could play off of if you could.
Yes. That's only because that's a personal thing, just because I'm not really good at constructing stories all the time. That's why a lot of my raps, I try to use things that relate to me truthfully, or like things that I know have happened in my head or whatever, and I try to like bounce off that sort of thing, or like stuff that I've heard.
Right. What's up, Erica? Thank you so much for bringing your people over. It's so good to see you. I loved your stream yesterday. It was hilarious.
Oh, sorry.
Hey, Christine. No, that's okay. You show off your freestyle based on chat words. Yeah, I mean, I find that super fascinating because me personally, but I also feel like a lot of other people that are creators, if anything, the chat is a potential distraction and it pulls you out of your own head, right?
Yeah.
Whereas you actually are like, no, that's like, I like having that stuff.
Yeah.
Was that, do you think that's potentially because you've been on You Now for 7 years and you've gotten used to engaging literally with the messaging? Like you've gotten used to that, or is that something that's just always been kind of easy for you?
It's more to do with repetition. So in terms of, so imagine if, like you said before, right? Freestyling for you would be more, the chat would be more distracting. You would prefer to come up with your own lyrics, right? But what happens when you do it for such a long time that you've used all the lyrics in your head already? You would prefer something to draw upon. So that's why I prefer the chat.
So when you're talking about incorporating the message, the messages into your chat, right? Like you had mentioned, oh, okay, when I'm trying to come up with something, but I still need to say something, I might use, there's a phrase you used, like starter phrases.
Yeah, the starter line.
Is there something parallel? Because you've got to be going with what you're rapping, and then at the same time there's messages that are happening.
Yeah.
So how do you get the message in here seamlessly? Is there something where you kind of do something for a minute and then you're like grab and then you put it in there? Is there something you've come up with that helps you do that?
So remember how I told you, instead of coming up with the sentences, I try to come up with the words now. Yep. So those are the words I start using. I just grab them with the chat. Yeah.
Got it.
So that way I don't even need to be thinking. It just kind of comes out. And then the only thing I have to actually focus on is kind of wrapping around a context.
Right.
Yeah.
So do you also come up with hooks as much as lyrics? Do you like doing that, or do you like more the lyric thing and then someone else does the hooks? Or
I don't mind doing hooks. The only problem with hooks for me is that I forget them after the next verse.
Right. I can see that because you're in the flow and something comes in and then you're like, wait, what the fuck was that?
Yeah, exactly. That's literally my reaction. It's just like, oh, wait, what was I saying before? And then, yeah, that's pretty much when the song ends.
That's hilarious, man. Have you ever rapped with live musicians? Do you have any interest in doing that?
Yeah. Honestly, like I have jammed with quite a lot of, not a lot of people, but a decent amount of people on here. But I stopped guesting for a while, just due to like I had like a really bad event in my life, and then I kind of pulled away from everything again. And I kind of closed up, and then I'm trying to reopen up back again. And
yeah, it's something that's, I think, like a natural part of the streaming thing that keeps coming up in like a lot of different kinds of ways, which is like you've got reality in your real life that's
Hmm.
happening concurrently with your streaming.
Yeah.
And it, you know, if you're working on a movie or a record or a script or something, you can just unplug for a week, or
Hmm.
you can, there's ways of managing your relationship with that piece of art. But
Oh,
when
how,
you're streaming, it's fucking right now. Like if stuff's happening in your life, it's going to affect what's going on in your stream or not going on. And you need to, there's almost like a skill set or something that I'm hearing coming up a lot over the last, particularly the last couple of weeks, where people talk about, you know, that balance or things happening in life. Like you need to be able to know like when you need to stream and when you need to not stream for a minute, or what things are part of your stream and what things are just personal life, that,
yeah.
right?
There definitely needs to be a clear distinction you have to draw between. Um, Especially if you are going to, say, mix your personal life with your streaming life too.
Yeah.
And like for example, I think the first big way that everyone has been doing that, or if anyone has been doing that, is the Discord situation. Like everyone's been moving onto Discord and stuff too, incorporating it with their streams. And like for me, my Discord has actually like my real life friends in there. Like you like if you catch me on a day and you just join into the chat sometime, like generally most of the time it's me and my real life friends and like we're just trolling around and stuff.
Right,
So
right,
like
right.
it gets really hard to like kind of be able to,
Set boundaries.
yeah, set boundaries. But that's why I feel like if you don't have the personality to stream it, that's pretty much where you're gonna crumble. Because if people are wearing too many masks, like you're not gonna be able to keep up with everything. So generally, like a streamer should have that genuine personality, and most of this, like everything they do, should be like honest and upfront. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that is well said.
Yeah.
And it's interesting, Erica, that you're on, because we were talking about this a little bit on our completely icy. Um, you know, it's what you're, and you use the word mask, right?
Hmm.
So like you basically like, to the degree that you're fronting in whatever way,
Yeah.
there's so many doorways into your life between Discord and the live stream and whatever else.
Hmm.
With Instagram, it's a little easier to be like, no, 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 this is me right here. This is the
Exactly.
pretty version, and here's me at a beach and whatever else. Like, wow, dude, that's amazing. It's becoming harder and harder to be doing the live stream thing and and put something out there that doesn't sustain itself over a period of time, that doesn't have legs in your real life,
Yeah, like keeping your private life private. You know what I mean?
which is becoming, I guess, in some ways a little bit hard. Maybe there's still things, I mean, you could still have a Discord and a live stream and still have shit that's like here in a third category. It's like, this is my family, or this is my blah, 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 blah. And it's still authentic, but it's not a part of my public
Hmm. I
thing. Is
mean, there's
that,
definitely ways around it. Like you
yeah,
could
yeah, yeah,
have a separate Discord server, you can have private Instagrams, all that stuff as well.
for sure.
But I mean, at the end of the day, like I don't know. I think it's just my personal opinion, but it, I feel like that's the difference between a streamer and an actual like say actor or musician playing at like live shows and doing like recordings, you know? The fact that we have the ability to kind of cross over that line between like work and personal life and allowing people to come into that and like showing them who we truly are, you know, just
Yeah.
as musically talented people or even just creatives or personalities, you know?
Or like human beings. I mean, what I find super fascinating is anyone that I've spoken to, whether it's like the first sort of doorway into this for Tori and I in a way was Emma McGann, but like anybody else, whether it's a music primary or not creator on You Now,
Mm-hmm.
it's almost like primarily they're a human being
Oh,
that
hell yeah.
other human beings like hanging with. Oh, I also can pick up a guitar and make some nice sounds. Oh, I can. But like at the end of the day, like you said, that primary relationship is human being to human being.
Yeah.
And it's not like if I go to a show, I might love so and so on stage, but I don't feel like I relate to them directly. I relate to their artist persona, which I love, and it might have a relationship to their real person. But it's different with a streamer. You're like, I just good mojo, good energy, good people. That's different, right?
And I
And I
feel
guess
like
I guess the question I have, sorry, I didn't interrupt you, but like
no,
the question I have is more like, I don't know exactly how to ask this, but do you feel like even when people respect you and love you as an artist or a musician, that as a streamer, primarily they like you as a person?
I've seen it work both ways.
Yeah.
Just due to the fact that if you are, say, a musician beforehand and you come onto the platform and you already have like a particular following, then you don't have to really show your whole personality, because if you look at the difference between, say, oh, this is gonna sound bad. So like, say someone who has over 1,000 viewers to someone who has about 50 viewers.
Yeah.
The person who has 50 viewers is going to pay a lot more attention towards the people watching rather than the person who has 1,000 viewers. Just because it would be way too hard. It's illogical.
And when you're saying that, I think the analogy or the example you're painting is the person with 1,000 viewers sort of walks on with 1,000 viewers. In other words, they're an artist first outside of the streaming thing. And then these people that already love them for their music primarily are coming on and watching them. They don't have to be like, hey, what's up? Oh, good. They don't have to be present because they've already got the love in the room already. People are already like, yeah, I love your music, man. Like, I'll listen to anything you do.
Yeah.
Right.
Whereas
so there's almost two games. Sorry, there's a little delay. Go ahead.
No. That's perfect. That's exactly what I'm perfect.
Yeah, there's like two games going on at the same time. There's the people that bring in their audience, and then now I'd almost throw out a like a devil's advocate example, and I don't know this example all that well, but it strikes me as the one that's sort of in the middle. Do you know who Melissa Etheridge is?
No idea.
She's a female artist. She's been around for decades. She's got a pretty large following, particularly in the United States, I think, maybe. She's had some hits over the years, radio hits that are still played. Oops, I got 10%. The reason that I bring her up is Melissa Etheridge has a long kind of following. She's got a loyal following, and she started streaming with I'm trying to think of the name of the company. It'll come to me in a second, but they basically do sort of like a back end service for your website. So like, oh, you want to stream? We'll like set it up, and then it's like a subdomain on your website. So it's not YouNow, it's not Side Door, it's whatever. And what she found was there were a lot of people that were very loyal to her, not just because of the music, but because like she went there quickly. She went from, I'm Melissa Etheridge, the stage artist that you come and pay tickets for, to like, what's going on, people? Like, it's really good to see you. And it's coming from here, even though she could be way up here, she's not.
Exactly.
Yeah. So there's people who probably are willing to go there. But what you're saying, I think, is true. Like, if you've got that fan base, you don't necessarily feel like you have to go there.
Yeah. It was just to state the point, pretty much. But there's different, like, everyone's human, right? We're all different. We have like different personalities and priorities when it comes to this sort of stuff.
Yep.
So I was just pointing out, like, probably the most likely scenario that it would happen.
Totally. So like live streaming as its own thing. Like if live streaming was outlawed tomorrow and you couldn't do it, it was just, you're not allowed to do it anymore. Yeah. What would you miss the most?
Definitely the people. Like, just being able to like talk and just get to know people. Even having like conversations like this, I genuinely do enjoy conversations like this more than like people, coming around and like just drinking on stream and having a good time like that. I've always been like, science is my nature, so I've always been like the more philosophical type. I enjoy listening to like podcasts and all that kind of stuff as well. So
for sure.
Yeah. definitely the
So
people.
you'd miss like the thoughtful conversations, the real conversations, not just the like, "What's up,
Yeah.
everybody?"
When I first started streaming, it was more conversational, and like I was guesting. I would like have the full guest up, and then like we'd just take it in turns answering like random questions and just getting to know each other.
Yep.
And then it was just one day I just clicked and I was like, let's do music like properly and see where we go.
Thanks, Mind Tricks. Good to have you in here, man. Thank you for bringing your fans. That's a super interesting point. I want to let you expound on that a little bit, and then we're coming up on 5 o'clock here. What time is it there? Is it super late?
It's actually 10 a.m.
Oh, okay. So it's on the flip. Okay, so
Yeah,
right.
we're good.
How you doing on time? Thank you so much.
Yeah, no, I'm good. I got
Okay,
plenty
cool.
of. We're good.
So, like, when you went, I'd love to talk about that seg you just talked about. Thank you, Emily. Thank you
Sure.
so much. Um, you were on You Now,
Hmm.
and you're just chilling, and you're just having conversations like most of the people on You Now
Yeah,
are just popping in. And then you're like, I want to do music proper.
yeah,
Can you talk about like, okay, what clicked in your mind that made you think that? And also, what does that mean? Does that mean now I'm going to have a proper schedule? Does that mean I'm going to have streams where I announce that this is music only? Right?
yeah.
What was that like?
So when I first started hopping on, we used to hop on and we used to have these random ideas, like me and a little group. Um, so we'd do like, say, uh, wait, what was that game called? Never Have I Ever. That's the one.
Okay.
So Never Have I Ever. We'd do like 101 questions or whatever, and we'd get like real personal with this sort of stuff. And then like we talk about our experiences and like have a full like sort of talk about a discussion about
Yeah.
all this stuff. And
Yeah.
then on top of that, because some of the people in our group were kind of musically talented as well. We used to do this thing which was we'd play like a random beat, or we'd like give each other a beat, and then we'd have to figure out any current song, and we'd have to put the lyrics into those beats.
Oh, cool. I like that.
Yeah. So it's really simple, but that's actually the start of freestyling as well, right? You're kind of like taking a
Brilliant.
beat and you're putting lyrics into it.
That's
Um,
such a great hack because now you don't have to think about new words. You have the words, but now
exactly.
you're just folding them into a song in a new way, and it's like a new way of like training the muscle without having to come up with actual new words.
Yeah. Literally. So that's what we started with, and
Right.
then I was just, yeah, I don't know. Like one day I just woke up and I was like, let's just get serious with music. So I dedicated 2 hours a day to kind of work on music, whatever it be, like working
Mm-hmm.
on guitar,
Mm-hmm.
singing, or rapping. And rapping just kind of stuck with me. So yeah.
Well, we're glad you did, man. I think for everyone that's on here that knows about what you're up to and has heard you ever, um, I'm glad that that happened because it could have not happened. You could have been like, well, maybe music, and then you go back to something else, and it never goes there.
Yeah, literally. There was so many moments where I could have actually, I was like thinking
Yeah,
about something, and so many people pulled me back. So yeah, I'm hella grateful for those people.
that's good. Okay, so what would you know, there's a lot of things I think anyone that's on here can say that we love about you now.
Mhm.
Great. But like what are some things that you'd like to have or that you would change if you could?
Um, Honestly, it's most of the stuff that I want. It's just due to me being lazy.
Yeah.
um, the platform has supplied me with everything I've needed. Not gonna
Mhm.
lie, like there's comforts. Everything else is just comforts,
Yeah.
and because I don't really see comforts as things I need, like yeah, it's just all on my end that I need to kind of like work up to, like getting a better
Unbelievable.
PC and all that stuff. But yeah,
Love it. Well, listen, dude, I got to pop off. It's already after 5, and I know you've got some stuff going on. So I appreciate you being on today.
no stress.
Anything we can do to help, we're absolutely 100% about it. And thank you for your time. This was amazing. Loved having you on, dude.
Thank you so much. I appreciate you guys for bringing me up here. It's been an absolute pleasure, honestly. Anytime.
100%. Yeah, we'll definitely do this again. Definitely, definitely, definitely.
Sure. Anytime. All right. Peace out, guys.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, brother. Guys, thank you so much. This has been a hell of a marathon. I loved it. I had an amazing time. I got to pop off right now. I love you guys so much. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you for everything. This was one of my best days ever. Tori, thank you for your help. Thank you, Sanji. And we'll see everyone really soon. We'll see you on Friday. Pop onto the Discord if you ever want announcements on emails and all that kind of good stuff. Love you guys. See you soon.